Right, listen up, team. There have been reports of a new player in the underground. We don't know who it is. We know they're organised, motivated, and building a team of henchmen and minions, the like of which the world has never seen before. This person is attempting to become an evil genius.
Sir!
What is it, Perkins?
Would you say that the evil genius would have an underground lair, sir?
It would appear not, Perkins. However, I fear it's only a matter of time.
What do evil lairs look like, sir?
Well, Perkins, if I were to build an evil lair, not that I would, you understand, I'd design an evil lair the like of which the world had never seen. Probably build it into a mountain, Perkins, underground. Throw in a barracks for the men, and a control room to organise the away teams. And a strong room, of course, store all my ill-gotten gains. Probably have to build some recreation items for the men. They get disloyal, you know, maggots.
Would you build traps, sir?
Hundreds of them, Perkins. Don't want agents snooping around while you're taking over the world. And I'd build a cover operation to hide the base from prying eyes. Camouflage, that's the key.
It's a good thing you're not an evil genius, sir.
Don't be such a damn fool, Perkins. Right, team, you have your orders. Get out there and find me a madman.
Hello everyone and welcome to Evil Genius. I'm Nordigraph and this is my new Let's Play, where we try to conquer the world! Anyway, now this game, in case you don't know, it's a strategy game where you're basically Dr. Evil. It's pretty fun. Now, let me explain a little bit about the difficulties. Let's get into it. Now there's the easy mode, which basically everything is cheaper in easy mode, and there's these agents which will invade your island that they'll do less damage. In medium everything is pretty standard and such. The super agents that invade your island, they'll do normal damage, and on hard they'll be able to pretty much, the super agents will destroy you pretty easily. And everything is through the roof in terms of price. Now this game is pretty hard. I'm more used to playing it on easy, but I'll try on medium. Let's try this on medium. Now I gotta explain a bit about the three evil geniuses that you can play. There's Maximilian. He has a upgrade that is kind of broken. Basically, he would give a bonus to research, but he doesn't do that, and he has an average cone of influence. It's not a cone, it's a circle of influence, and it's actually referred as that. Has a medium circle of influence, and it gives pretty much standard bonuses to your minions as long as he's around. Alexis, on the other hand, oh, and Maximilian starts with Jubei, which is like a Chinese guy. It's a minion he has, a henchman he has. I'll explain that later, the minions, the henchmen later. Alexis has a large circle of influence, and she raises loyalty faster from her minions that are around her. But the rest of the stats of the minions will raise a lower rate. Now Shen Yu, if I'm not mistaken, he pretty much he'll lower the time that super agents will spend in our island, and he starts with Lord Kane. Oh, Alexis starts with Eli Barracuda, which I guess is considered the worst of the henchmen you can start. Shen Yu is pretty much, he has a smaller circle of influence, but everything raises at a higher rate, every stat raises at a higher rate, and he starts with Lord Kane. Now I'm used to play with Maximilian, but I'm gonna start playing with Shen Yu. I'm going out of my comfort zone. And we are now in our island. Now let's go look at our objectives. We gotta ensure a healthy minion force by building a barracks. We'll need at least one bunk bed and a locker. Okay. Before we can send minions around the world to act acts of infamy, we need to construct a control room. Okay. And we have agents in our island. Well, not yet. They haven't got here yet. But they'll be here soon. We're gonna start by building a corridor here. This is where we'll build our base. It's pretty standard stuff, really. I try to keep it away from this in case I wanna make a door here. You can make other doors in case I wanna make a door, so I can put a camera there for easier access. Let's start building our corridor. We click this to make our workers start doing this stuff. And it seems that we have invaders in our island. Now let me explain a little bit about henchmen. Each henchman has a special ability that they'll get by basically gaining experience. They gain experience by beating these agents and super agents.
Henchmen
also, this has a pretty big tutorial. If you look at it, there's a pretty big tutorial. The tutorial is very good. If you play this by yourself and you go through the tutorials, you learn pretty quickly what you have to do in it. Let's beat up these agents. And as you can see, they leave these body bags. Basically, every agent has a heat rate where if they go too close to these, they will raise their heat, which basically raises our notoriety and makes more agents invade our island. It's something we'll experience more as we go through. Now let me show you this. We need evil points, which is basically XP, to get new abilities to him. There's Psychic Terror and Smooth Operator. Smooth Operator, Psychic Terror are both dependent on the enemy's smarts, which is this stats right here. If they have high smarts, it won't work. So he's pretty much a support character. It seems we have built our corridor already, so let's try and build some barracks. Now here we can't build because of this rock formation here. I'm pretty much used to building big rooms, and usually in barracks I try to... well, we got a lot of money. I can do this. I try to do this. Basically, this raises the number of minions we can have in our base, and this makes sure that our minions don't get exhausted. We also need a control room, right? And a freezer. We also need a freezer. I'm going to build a freezer here. Mostly because the biggest thing that can raise heat for us is dead bodies. I'm gonna put this like so. Seems pretty good. So if they try to raise our heat, they'll have to go through the barracks, which usually has a few agents in it to stop it. We're gonna stop this so they focus on this first. Let's see what else we have to build. We have to build a strong room right inside here, so I don't want to build it there because I'm gonna build more corridors. Not freezers, corridors. As you can see, this is a pretty tight management game where we manage our evil empire, and it's a pretty cool game, if I say so myself. As you can see, we're gonna build a little bit more of the corridor. Thing is, be wary of corridors. We can't delete corridors. If we do, we're pretty much screwed on the rest of the things here. So be careful. Destroying corridors is usually a bad idea. We can pause the game if we so desire. Though
can be built in all
I rarely do it
Use these
myself.
buttons.
Let's get rid of these tutorials.
I think here.
I don't think that anyone will start invading my island so soon, so we don't have to worry about this. We just have to worry about, you know, getting space to build a control room. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna get this. What I mean is, like, if I wanted to destroy this part of the corridor, I can't. So that's why you should be careful where you build your corridors. Now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to build a corridor here. We can build fire extinguisher because fires can be started by other agents. But I'm not gonna do that now. Or let's see, they're still putting stuff up there. Let's put the control room right here. And this looks... actually... let's do this. I don't see... actually I do see a reason. Yeah, I kind of wanted a quick access to this. Still can do it if I delete this. I still can do it. Let's... now we need control panels. We need... it's good to have this amount of... at least so you can have 6 guys, you know, working. Later on we'll get
all people have
better equipment than this. Basically one that only uses 1 minion but uses up pretty much every... but uses up... what I mean is, it will do this job but with 1 minion. Will do the job this does but with 1 minion. That's what I mean. This we will use to gather information, so when we can start taking over the world, like Pinky and Brain, we get a good amount, let's say, of... I'm gonna put a corridor here. I think I'm gonna do this. It's good to have this branching like this, because then you can put a camera here that pretty much covers this, then a camera here that covers this. It's a good idea. Cameras are good to monitoring. It's kind of hard to set up a good security network when you're starting. But yeah, it's a good method is to just, you know, plan out everything before. I pretty much have a good idea of what I'm gonna do here. I'm just waiting until they finish the barracks there. I'm going to get a door for our base because, well, we don't want anyone invading our base. What's an illegal room? I think I'm gonna delete this. I don't need this big of a room, I think. Basically, we'll get bigger islands later, and that's why I don't need this big of a room at the start. Let's see. I'm just waiting until they finish this, and you know what? I'll cut until everything here is done. Seems like the better thing to do, since it's going to take a long while until this is all done. If anything interesting happens in the meanwhile, I'll be sure to come back to it. Okay guys, I just want to show you guys this. There are different levels for doors, as you can see here. This one will make sure that anyone can use this door. This will make sure that only our minions and henchmen can use this door, and of course us, the evil genius. Only the evil genius can use this door, and only the evil genius can use this door, and they'll put guards
information will be relayed to you
in front of the doors protecting it. So that's a good thing to note. I won't put doors here, of course, because I don't want my barracks to be, well, exposed. I want my barracks to be easy access, but I don't want, and mostly these don't generate heat at all. What generates heat is mostly dead bodies and stolen stuff that we'll get later on. So I'll go back to building my stuff. Okay guys, I'm back. I'm building a strong room here. A strong room is basically what this is. So I don't actually have to buy a briefcase rack, since I can later move on. Move the briefcase rack right there. It's pretty... This is basically where we'll keep our stolen stuff. And our gold. Our profits that we make through our nefarious deeds. So again, I'll be cutting to when I go... when I finish this stuff. Or anything interesting happens. We finished up the barracks, yay! Alright guys, I'm gonna show you guys something important that we can do now. We can hire more minions, which is important because they'll make it faster for us to build stuff. We can hire 18 minions. Right now, we can make it faster, but I see no point in it. So, basically, we recruit 1 minion every 1 minute if we don't pay anything, which I think is a pretty good deal. I'm gonna get 10 to start here. Seems a pretty fair amount. Now we just have to go back and wait until everything goes on. Guys, I want to explain to you guys something really quick. Basically, what is heat? Now, where, as you can see here, it's basically how much damage you can take from other agents. Now, heat, this is how much electricity. We'll be dealing with power later. We can actually move this to our new strong room. Put it in a place where there's easy access. And we should be pretty good. Now I'm going to explain a bit about heat. If you guys remember, the bodies actually disappeared here. But here's the deal. Heat, how does it work? How, at least on dead bodies. If any of your minions are close to dead bodies, they'll start losing their stats. And if they are in, basically dead bodies have a circle of influence like ours. Except it lowers the starts lowering the stats of our minions. If minions lose too much stats, a multitude of things can happen. They can fall asleep. They can leave the corporation, let's say, and they can get bored. They can get confused. A bunch of things. This happens to agents too. If you can lower some of their stats, there are traps that do that, among other things. So basically, what you can get is we're actually we can destroy that, and basically that circle of influence can be destroyed by, well, not destroyed, contained by being taken to a freezer. Every circle of influence, everything that generates heat, if it's put into a freezer, won't generate heat at all, basically. That's the gist of it. And that's what you should be taking care of, at least when dead bodies are concerned. The game is pretty easy at the start, so... But it does get pretty crazy later on, especially when other agents start coming to your islands. Pretty crazy. I think I can actually save some money by not making these right now.
New room cancelled. Room
We should focus on our control room. It's the most important thing. We should be talking about power in a second. When this gets to pretty close to 20, they will start teaching us about the power, the energy of the place. So when we build the control room, it should show us what's up with it. So guys, I'll cut to end this. It's done. Guys, now that we have a couple of minions gathered here, I want to show you guys something.
Forest man. Often
In order
walk into
to
shop
raise
for-
our minions' loyalty, we can do this. Basically, we can get our evil genius to kill a minion. I'll even do this in order to lower our minion count a little. Let's
Your
kill another one,
usefulness has reached an end.
so we can raise the loyalty of others around us. As you can see, this is the circles that will influence. It influenced this minion. Alright, we're good.
He
Now we can
walked
kill those minions that will
arrived.
practically raise the other minions around around your evil genius. It will raise their loyalty. If their loyalty goes low enough, basically they abandon, they quit, and they run away, and that will actually raise a bit of your notoriety, your heat, and a lot of heat can make the game very annoying. Mostly what I like to do is leave my evil genius in the control room, so I get information all the time. What the hell? We just have to do... Okay, we just have to do that. This is pretty straightforward. And we're actually gonna have to raise some money before we start doing more objectives. Which can make things interesting, I'll tell you that. I just wanna say that I won't be covering every single thing in the game. I won't be doing every act of infamy, which is basically the missions, like side quests. I won't be doing every single one because there are a lot. I might do them off screen and show you the results and things like that, but I won't be doing all of them. I'll be doing mostly the core ones so we can finish the game. This should be, I guess, a pretty short LP. I'm gonna stop this after I finish this mission, actually, so... because this has been going on a while. Okay, let's explain a bit the time clock. The time clock will set how many minions we want working on this, how much we want to staff this room. Some rooms have this, like the infirmary, which we'll get later, things like that. We can staff like one. It's basically we can overstaff it or just, you know, have. I rarely leave more than this when it's full because we don't need that much people working on the room. This will make sure that no one is working. This will make sure that it's just, you know, about enough, and if any emergency happens, they'll leave the room. This will make sure that information is stored for a while. So if, let's say, some minions leave the stables, we can go back. The information will be stored for a while, so we won't lose the progress that they gathered. Basically, it will be clearer when we can actually use the stables. And as you can see, we're getting pretty close to our threshold here. And every table, I think it's 2. Yeah. Now we can start world domination. Now, I think I can show. You know what? No.
You now have access to the world.
Yes, we have. I'll explain the rest. Since we are pretty much cool here, our money is here. We can actually get an armory now and a holding cell, which I'll explain in the next video. This video has gone on long enough, I think, for the first episode. We actually have to build a power plant now, so we have power to, well, power our base. So I guess I'll see you guys on the next episode. While we try to conquer the world. Anyway, I'll see you guys then on the flip side. Thanks for watching. Bye.